I'm ready on my end.
Hey, Fred.
Hi, Fred.
I don't think Rich is on, but we do have a quorum.
Okay, good.
I think he was like preparing for a procedure or something, right?
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
So he could be.
All right.
Hearing?
For a second to open the meeting.
And Fred seconded.
Oh, I'm assuming that we're all set.
Yep, you're live.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, all in favor of opening the meeting, say aye.
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 So this is the Wednesday, March 12th, 2025 meeting of the Groveland Conservation Commission. And we do have a quorum tonight, with 4 members present. And our associate member is also here. And we may have another member joining us on Zoom, but not yet. And if he does come on, then we will do remote roll calls for a remote member. But for now, we will just vote here in the room. All right, so we have 4 hearings tonight. 2 of them are continuations from last month, and 2 of them are new. And then we've got no other public meetings after that. We just have some updates and a few other items. So we'll jump right in. So I'll make a motion to reopen the hearing for 301 Main Street, which is a notice of intent, Groveland notice of intent for proposed landscaping at 301 Main Street. Is there a second to open the hearing?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. All right, so I think Libby is on Zoom, right? Maybe, maybe not.
I think Honora is for the
Yeah,
other
that's
hearing.
the
Yeah.
one.
Is that Al? She's probably on mute.
Someone just joined us. Oh, okay, that's somebody else. Was she going to join us remotely?
I don't know, I don't believe so.
Oh, no?
No.
Okay. Could be her,
Who's L?
Who's the L?
but maybe not. All right. So, we did do a site visit finally last Saturday when the snow melted, and successfully got to see the limit of work, the bank, and the rest of the parking lot. So, do we have any comments on the site visit from our members here?
Well, I guess I would like to see native plantings to replace the trees that are being removed, and I kind of favor, rather than turf grass next to the river, I would favor some native grasses or ground cover. And then, are there gonna be repairs, or, remind me, is there gonna be something done with the pavement, with the asphalt?
Eventually, it needs to be, have something done to it, but at this point, we've got to line it, we've got to clean it, find the edges of it. That was the extent of,
Okay.
yeah.
Because we've been talking recently about moving toward pervious surfaces when they're directly next to a resource area like that. So I guess those are my concerns / comments. I was wondering how the knotweed was going to be treated also.
I'm not the person to ask for that.
Oh, okay.
My landscaper would be the person that would deal with that.
I do have an expert if you guys need somebody, and
More
when
than
you're,
happy to
when
talk
you're-
to 'em.
perfect, and when you're next to a resource area like that, next to water, if glyphosate is going to be used, it needs to have a surfactant added. So this expert that I have might be useful for you.
All right. Have to take the name of their name.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can reference some of this stuff in the permit. Okay. So, Bob, as you know, we had 6 questions here, right? So I'll just go one by one and we'll see if we can get these resolved. So the 2 trucks that have been parked in the riverfront zone, has the property owner decided to have those moved out?
I can't answer for him, I don't know what his answer is. We haven't heard any reason to move him. It's a parking lot. There's vehicles parked in it. You know,
Yes.
That's kind of what the intent of a parking lot is.
No, I know, but because it's in the riverfront area, we would like no vehicles parked outside the building overnight. Typically, that's what we want to see, is no overnight parking in the riverfront area.
Well,
You are not going to be doing that. You are parking all your vehicles inside the building, right?
No.
No?
There will not be room to park the vehicles inside the building. Just trying to navigate those turns. I mean,
Apologies to interrupt. I can't hear anything.
Oh, microphone, thank you.
Thanks.
No problem. Hey, Mike, can you point the camera, the mic a little bit closer and point it a little bit down? Just a tad bit?
Is that better?
How about that, Jason?
Yeah, absolutely. You're good.
Okay,
That's
thank
perfect.
you.
Awesome.
Talking about us.
Yeah, pull your mic closer.
Thank you.
All
Thanks,
right, go
Jason.
ahead, Bob.
So my intent all along had been to have 2 trucks at least there. And I had never intended to put them inside the building. I needed access to be able to offload them and lawn load them. I will have equipment in the building that we're not using. I mean, I've got staging materials, planks, other stuff that I'm not going to be able to store outside. They would go in the building. So to be able to park vehicles in there was never the intent.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I know, this is why the pervious,
Well, but
Surface
that's a
also
separate,
comes into play.
but that's a separate
it's a little bit
issue.
separate, it's also a little
Yeah.
bit the same.
Well, yes, I know. All right. So that's the first one. And how about the copy of the Mass DOT permit?
It's on record here at the town hall, right through Annie. You can grab it.
I couldn't find it, but I'll follow up on it.
Okay.
In the permit, also talked about the Cape Cod berm in the northeast corner in front of the new parking spots. And I think we saw that area. So probably what we will do in the permit is designate a length of the berm in that area down protecting the river, right? And you're willing to do that?
That's fine. You know, there's nothing designated there, I realize that.
Yeah.
You know, I can see it being 30 feet or so easily,
Yes,
but I don't think it's anything extraordinary.
right. Okay. And there are 10 parking spots, right?
Yes.
I mean, some of these things are not jurisdictional to us, but they were talked about in that planning board permit, and the planning board asked that, you know, we agree with whatever they say, so that's why some of
Yeah,
these
that's
things
fine.
are on here.
I'll answer your questions. That's
And
why I'm
then,
here.
they talked about a clean out of the catch basin, and I'm not sure which catch basin they were referring.
That's actually at the bottom of that ramp that leads into the back end of the post office.
Okay,
And it's down at the bottom there. When we go to clean the driveway and do everything, would probably be better to do it after that rather than before that.
yeah,
That's where it
yeah,
dips down.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
okay. All right. And the last one was normally in the notice of intent filing, there's an alternatives analysis, and we didn't see that. That's just mostly a comment on the part of the wetland scientist.
I thought she had provided that or sent email out on that, but I can double check.
All right.
You know, certainly do that. That's easy enough to pick up the phone and make a phone
Yeah,
call.
I mean, it's not that hard a thing.
Yeah.
Mike, we also talked about pulling back the work area away from the steep slope, especially up along the bridge,
Yes,
to keep the slope stable. And all the existing silt fencing removed. Is that part of the plan as well?
I'm
I don't know
sorry.
if it's the existing silt fencing that's there?
Yeah, well,
Can we get that
we have
removed?
to put the silt fence up in order to turn around and do what we want to do first. So after we get done, we can pull all the silt fence out rather than like the last guy did, that just walked away and left it.
Exactly.
okay. Do we have any other questions or comments?
So you know, personally, I think it's good to get in there and clean that out and, you know, put some grass in there. I think that, I guess on the parking, right?
Yep,
We don't allow vehicles overnight at construction areas.
mm-hmm,
I guess do we need to talk about, this is a business, it's not so much, you know, a lot of times we're concerned about hydraulic fluid and whatever else is, you know, in a piece of equipment.
yes,
But these are two gas or diesel vehicles.
Gasoline.
So, I don't know, and again, it's, the intent is that, you know, he was going to park them there, so how do we sort of come to grips with that?
yes. Yeah, so the biggest concern that we have is during construction, when you have soil, and then we don't allow construction vehicles to be parked overnight, in the construction zone on unprotected soil for that reason, because hydraulic fluid or oil or anything else can,
Will go
Good.
directly into the
yes,
the
right,
dirt,
right. So,
so This is a little different.
Yes.
This already has pavement.
yes,
Can we, not so much restrict, but advise to park further away from the edge of any asphalt, or?
I mean, during a rain event, it's all gonna wash down anyway.
well, hopefully this berm is gonna
Yeah.
prevent that from
Well,
happening.
the berm is over behind the post office, and
Yes,
the vehicles are parked next to the
Well,
301.
The white, I saw a white truck that was right near the berm, where the berm was gonna be going, I don't know, but it wasn't there.
There's one vehicle that belongs to the post office that's parked at the back corner
Oh, okay.
of,
so that's-
of the lot, and then mine has been out in front of the building, the gas station.
So
Old
that's
gas
where
station.
you're planning to park?
Well, yes, that's, I'm trying to keep the other designated parking spots open.
so Bob, are all 10 parking spots paved?
Yes, they're on paved area now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a plus, because there's no unpaved parking spots.
No, no unpaved parking spots. I mean, I don't know what the story is on the post office vehicle myself,
Okay,
Right,
All I can speak to is my own vehicles.
sure.
okay, so we, guess we need to talk to the post office.
Yeah, well, or the property owner, but, let's see, where is it? All right, so all the spots are paved, that's a good thing. And second of all, so you're intending to park your trucks more at the front of the building?
Building, yes.
Okay, so that's about, really, as far as parking spots are concerned, that's about as far away from the river as you can get.
Yeah,
Yes,
and at the same time, it doesn't interfere with the 10 line spots so that they're available for daily use. So if I have to take a vehicle and leave one during the day,
yep,
there's all 10 spots plus available,
are we happy with that? Can we live with that? I mean, it's, it's, the bylaw is not that specific. So, I don't think we need to really waive it. We can put that in the permit, that trucks will be parked in front of the building as
Okay.
best as possible. You can live with that, right?
Yeah, I can live with that. In fact,
Okay.
I'm hoping that I can reduce the number of trucks, because
Yeah,
all you have to do is keep paying for them, paying for the fuel, and paying for the taxes.
yeah.
If I can get rid of one, I'll be happy.
Oh, yeah, right, you're trying to eliminate two of them, right?
So the vehicles are on the property, how old are they?
The one that's on the property now is a 2012. That is probably the first one I'm going to get rid of anyhow. I do have an '08 that's in the shop at the moment. That's a smaller van.
Yep.
And then I have technically a '99 12-foot box truck that is probably the most mechanically sound of the bunch,
Yep.
the workhorse.
All right. All right. Do we have any other items to talk about regarding this? No other issues? No other questions?
I'd say not.
No.
There's far worse things parked there over the years.
Oh, yeah, there, but also just any other things, I think,
It was
I
a
think-
gas station, so.
we'll give some suggestions, maybe other ground covers that don't need to be mowed, so it actually may even be better than grass. And I think you're open to that.
Yeah, if I can not have to turn around and worry about getting on a lawnmower, I'm happy.
Yeah, right, right.
Do we want to see shrubs replacing the trees that are coming down?
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. So we can,
Native shrubs?
we can give him our standard list of suggested,
Yeah. On like a 1-to-1?
Oh, no.
No?
I think there were so many more trees.
yeah, right.
Well, 1-to-1 of a certain size tree. A lot of
Yeah,
them were
right.
just spindly
Those
little-
larger trees that
Yeah.
he's taken down the back. And, you know, I probably, it'd be nice to, and I think Bob intends to make the place look better,
Yeah.
so anything along that back area between the parking lot and the back.
We're trying to get it open so that it's visible, you know, without getting a view of the river. I'm not
Yeah.
looking at that. I'm just trying to make it so that it's open, it's got some light at the building can breathe.
Right,
It's not causing any, you know, excess moisture problems for the building. We can see what's going on there, so nobody turns around and dumps another refrigerator down there.
Right.
You know, those types of things, so, and I don't know whether there's any lighting on the back there, but, you know, that may be an option too, you know?
yeah,
I've got to see what we have as far as expanding capacity in there over what they already had, and that stuff that's in there is a little dated, so my electrician will have a field day and hand me a healthy bill, I'm sure.
yes. All right. All right. Does someone want to make a motion to accept the filing and issue the permit?
Sure, I will make a motion to accept the GNOI for 301 Main Street with the current plan of proposed landscaping and parking. Order of conditions and permit will spell out a number of our concerns and
Yes.
statements.
Yes. Is there a second?
Can I ask a clarifying question before you do that?
Sure.
So in a case where we're not demanding an updated plan, the plan is not going to reflect what we're agreeing to here. So
Yes.
how do we want at least a note on the plan, or, because the guys in the field are going to look at the plan, not at the
Yes.
permit necessarily.
So what things are missing from the plan?
It's really
I
the
know
work
that
area, the limit of
Cape
work,
Cod berm is not on there,
right?
right? And you're saying the limited work area.
Right, because you verbally said that we weren't going to go down the bank, but I don't know that the plan spells that out.
Doesn't, no.
And I think it was just that somebody drew a straight line, and it was probably me.
Yeah, no, it's just,
But I think if we go to a noted elevation, not to go below a noted elevation, may be the easiest.
like here.
Yep. And actually, see, oh no, those three spots are over there, so that berm, I think, is supposed to be, and I think these three spots are actually this way, and the berm is supposed to be right along there.
Like, even if it's a hand-drawn plan, it's nice to have the plan of what we're approving.
Yes.
The permit, you know?
Because the berm we looked at was behind the post, the berm that he was talking about was over here, behind the post office, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like right here. Like these spots, I think, are actually this way, and the berm is supposed to be like here.
Is that right, Bob? You want to just take a look?
I got to see it. I'm not sure. I can't see from where I'm at.
See how these spots are actually this way? I think those spots were actually this way.
No, that's correct.
Okay,
Because this is the line of the building. It comes across.
This is where the berm is, over here.
No, the berm is going to be up in here.
Okay.
That's the line along the river. And then these spots come into that fenced-in area. This is the one alongside the building.
Yeah.
This is the handicapped up beside the post office. So this is where we were looking at that Cape Cod berm. But I mean, even if we followed that course of elevation along here, because this is the corner that there's concern over, so if I put on my spectacles, if we don't go below line, 19. You know,
Okay,
So
I
we can
can
put that
reference
in-
that
in
in
the
the,
order.
yeah.
and that would be the easiest way.
Yeah.
And maybe a note that the berm will only be on existing
Yep,
pavement,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
It won't do any good if we put it behind the pavement, it'll just kind of fall over.
Once you find the edge.
We'll end up in the
Once we
river.
find the edge, yes.
okay. Yeah, so I will reference it in the plan on this, so this plan is dated in, so what I will do is reference this plan in the permit. Because many times, most of the time, these plans don't go to the registry. So usually only it's the permit. So
Okay.
as long as it's referenced correctly in the permit, then we should be all right.
Okay.
But thank you for bringing that up. Okay, was there a second
Second.
on the motion?
There you go, second.
Thank you, Fred.
Second by Fred.
19.
Any further discussion on the motion? So we're voting to accept the plan as presented with our additional requests noted that will be in the permit. All right. We didn't have Rich join us? No.
No.
All right. So all in favor of accepting the plan and the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, so it's unanimous. So we should have a permit in probably about 2 weeks or so.
Okay.
Okay?
After I get that, I still have to go back to the planning board. So,
Yes,
clock just keeps ticking. that's all.
yes. Well, hopefully, Bob, you can get in there and make the place look good.
Yeah.
So I can take this with me, but I think you probably want to keep it for
Yeah,
somebody
right.
else.
I'll take it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you,
Thank you,
Bob. All right, I'll make a motion to close the hearing on 301 Main Street, notice of intent.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, good. All right, the next hearing is for 452 Main Street, notice of intent, Groveland notice of intent for a proposed pressure relief valve and parking area continued from our previous meeting in February, on February 12th. I'll make a motion to reopen the hearing on 452 Main Street.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. All right, so I think that we have wetland scientist on Zoom.
Honora.
Hi, Honora.
Honora, yes. Hi, Honora.
Hi.
And thank you for sending your coworker to our site visit last Saturday. I think she was able to answer most of our questions.
Excellent. I know she mentioned one thing that you had asked about was whether the parking lot could be gravel or a permeable surface.
Yeah.
And I did reach out, and that is something that can be done.
Excellent.
And that they will direct the surface flow back towards the road or
Okay.
the street.
Thank you.
Wonderful. found a mass.gov website all about permeable paving materials, bioretention in parking lots.
You have to vacuum that once a year. It becomes not permeable anymore.
Silts in a little bit.
The sand gets
Okay, do you have anything else to add to the presentation?
Unless, were there any other questions?
Well, when we were out there, I guess that's the only thing, we were trying to figure out where the mitigation area is too.
There was a we swore that there was a flood storage mitigation area proposed behind the building when we talked about this. Is that real?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was to grade some of the area behind the building to have it be the same storage capacity that is being lost. I think it's a double or something of the lost storage capacity by grading. And I think there may have been something about floodplain, but since pretty much the entire property is in floodplain, that's kind of where the mitigation has to go.
We just couldn't figure out where that was.
Yeah,
on
where
the
was that,
plan.
Honora? Can you
It
show me
should
that?
be right, yes, let me share my screen. All right, are you seeing my
Yep.
plan? Perfect. So the grading was right behind the building
okay.
where, so here's where the current 19-foot elevation is, and it would be graded up to this line. And then this is where the current 20-foot is, and it would just be graded a bit up there. So, or maybe I'm reading, no, am I reading this wrong?
No.
No, I think that's right. Yeah. So this will be 18, so it'll be 18 from here to this line.
Oh,
now.
okay, so you're removing soil.
Removing this chunk here, yes.
Okay.
Soil
Okay.
here, and then a little bit of soil here.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so you're not even, probably not gonna.
Taking a foot off of
notice
it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the goal is obviously not to cause too much disturbance to the area, but to still get some of those graded areas to increase the flood storage back there.
Yeah, I have a pretty good picture of exactly that spot where like there's some red flags there right now, I think.
No, this is behind it.
I don't know about flagging, but there may be.
No, right here, see?
That
I
red
think,
flagging
I think
was on the
this is
side.
behind,
Oh, yeah, that is behind.
yeah. So it's pretty flat back there, so that's good, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the intent was to make a very shallow bowl to just hold on to the
Stormwater,
extra water.
yeah. Great.
Yeah, I think the grading is fine. I can't remember what the proposal was for stabilization and minimizing silt and all that. I don't think I have a complete set here. So that'll be silt fence during the earthwork?
Yes, there will be a silt fence during the earthwork. I do not have erosion controls on here. Those will, although now that this is going to be permeable. But yes, there will be a silt fence around the area of impact and silt socks, filter socks.
I thought, okay. I thought, because it says hay bales here. Or,
For dewatering?
EMP detail.
I think they usually just throw in like
Surround
every
street
BMP
drainage
that
with
they
hay bales.
have ever used.
Yes, just in case, it is
Okay,
applicable.
okay.
Yes, I know there's one with hay bales for
Okay,
dewatering.
okay. Silt fence, weed-free barrier. Weed-free bales to be staked. Continuous hay bales. Okay.
What's the proposed timeline for doing this work?
I believe it is spring is when it can get done. I do know that I believe there is one more meeting with the select board happening in, I believe, April to discuss the project. So not until after all permits are in hand.
It'll be April 1st or April 15th. I always forget.
April 15th.
April 15th, November 1st. Is that how we?
Yeah,
Okay. It sounds like they won't.
yeah, it sounds
Start.
like
Won't
this
be
is not
starting it till after
a
that.
long project. It should be able to get done in 6 months. So they do plan on completing it in 2025 before the seasonal restriction comes into place on November 1st, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah. The plan is to start work once permits are in hand. So assuming that is April, end of April, May. So
all right. Do we have any other questions about this?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right. I guess we're ready to make a motion on this one.
Now, why is everybody looking at me? Motion to accept the plans as presented this evening for 452 Main Street, NOI, GNOI, pressure relief valve and parking area with permeable surface.
Yes.
Second.
Moved and seconded on that motion and to close the hearing.
And to close the hearing.
Yes, friendly amendment.
Thank you.
I'll second that one.
Any further discussion, any other questions on the motion to accept it? And really, the only change we're asking from the original plan was the permeable parking spots.
Yep.
All right.
Good.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, I believe.
Honora, thank you. You guys are fabulous.
All
We
right, thank you
appreciate
so much.
Thank you.
thanks.
Really liked your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
So sort of connected, but not
Yes.
directly this. How do we tell people they can park there?
Oh, well, once it's done,
Right.
there'll be signage. I think the town is planning on putting up signage that this is the official parking area for the community trail. Yeah. Because people seem to find a parking spot no matter what, so
Yeah.
I'm not worried about them not knowing to park there. I mean, Arthur's here, so probably the town is gonna put up signage for that being
I would
the,
assume, yeah, because you're gonna need to put some signage up there anyway, do your handicap spot.
Yep.
We'll have to put one right on the street saying, directional saying.
yeah, yeah,
Additional parking for the
Yeah.
trail.
okay.
I would assume that, should be part of the plan, but maybe it's gonna fall on us.
Yes, yeah, so that's really on the town to do that. All right. So I think we're done with that one. So the next hearing is for a request for determination of applicability in a Groveland RDA for proposed roadway resurfacing at Murray Ave, Harvard Road, and Salem Street, School Street intersection, filed by the Groveland Highway Department.
Oh, that's why
And-
you're here.
Yes, and
For his health.
so I'll make a motion to open this hearing on the RDA.
Second.
All in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Harvard Road.
yes.
I don't know where that is.
Yeah, where's,
So this is to kind of, I believe, kind of to fix all the placement, to repair those roadways. That was where the sewer line was
Oh.
placed, if you recall,
Okay.
connecting the Sewell Street project down to Center Street, and then connecting through the property over to the existing lines near the community trail.
Okay.
Yes, you want me to, I can,
Yeah, so why don't you tell us, Arthur, about it?
So, both these areas that were determined that we need to file are part of, are just, part of the roads that we're gonna do for our roadway resurfacing, contract, which we awarded, last month. So it's about, it's about, 10 different roads, and then, so I spoke with Mike about which roads might be adjacent to any wetlands, so he determined that these two are. So basically, amongst the roads in town, we're going to be doing a couple of treatments where we'll actually be reclaiming, meaning some roads we're going to actually take it down to dirt and putting brand new asphalt. These roads that are being adjacent to the wetlands are not having that treatment just by chance. They're just going to be milled, meaning they're just going to take off 2 inches and replace back 2 inches. Part of the job is, and it's within our contract that we already have items for silt fence. So the contractor is responsible for putting silt fence where I tell him to put it, which would be, I'll give him these 2 maps to say, put silt fence at the edge at the end there on the opposite side of Harvard, and then when we get, again, on the intersection of School and Salem, where we'll be, again, milling that road, the little section, we'll put some silt fence there. Also, we'll be putting silt sacks and catch basins in that area too, so that if any sediment goes in there, we can catch that before it goes into the wetlands. So that's standard procedure for working around wetlands. They don't plan to be storing any material. Everything they do is kind of done in one day, and they sweep. There's a sweeper out there consistently
Oh, great.
as they're doing it. So not because we want it clean, but also because you obviously don't want, we take off the dust and the sand so that you can put in fresh new pavement. So that's part of the process, and I'm not sure of years past if people would file for conservation, but I think it's the right thing to do because, I mean, it is large scale equipment and a big operation out there. So
Yes, so typically, it depends on the roadway, but for instance, when the state paved Route 97 from the Georgetown line up to past Salem Street, they filed a notice of intent with us. And, usually the main mitigation is to put silt fence along the roadway to protect any wetland areas. And so, after looking at the maps of what you were gonna pave, that's where I came up with just putting silt fence along the areas. I gave you those maps
Yeah.
where they belong.
and then so what we'll do is, once we have our pre-construction meeting with our contractor, I give them these maps because
Yep.
because by the time when I put the contract out, it was still to be determined.
Yeah.
So, but now at this point, I'll give them the maps and say, this, you have to address this, and they know. So, they are familiar with doing this type of work themselves.
Yes. So I think what we normally do is, have a pre-construction meeting, meet with the contractor, look at the installation, of the silt fence and approve that, and then give the go-ahead to begin work.
Yeah, so I will just, have to just, when they tell me that's in, I will just have to let you know.
Yes.
And then you can go out and take a look at it. I don't have I really don't have a schedule on that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know, there'll be, it's probably, it depends where they start, but it's the first thing they do anyways. It's part of their mobilization, is just to get the silt fence up. And then removing the silt fence is always the challenge, because they're already paid for it.
Yeah.
So they don't want to remove it. But they have, now we say silt fence, they do use hay bales sometimes, or, so I'm not sure if you guys have a specification what you want. Does the hay matter?
I think we're willing to do the straw wattles.
Straw wattles, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you leave them in place after?
Um,
Don't we remove those?
We
Not always.
we have left them in place.
But aren't they made of plastic?
No,
No,
straw.
No.
The straw is,
Straw with like,
Oh, then I don't care, as long as
they
it
all,
doesn't have
it
plastic.
all
Well, this is-
disappears
Yeah.
after
Yeah,
a
that's
while.
fine.
yeah.
But
it-
the only,
it
I
helps.
guess the only question I have about leaving those next to wetlands is whether it blocks the passage of, for example, turtles. So if you leave a straw wattle in place and they can't get over it,
Well, I think that.
Hopefully it doesn't go over it into the road.
Right, maybe it's
Yeah,
better
turn
that they
around.
No, but I see what you mean.
It'd be, I think we'll, you know, for the pre-construction, we'll have an idea of if
I would love to.
this
do a
stuff is in, we
pre-construction.
could probably say that's not the best for that area. I mean,
Okay.
I don't think we want to say,
Well, I have this
I don't
handy
think we wanna-
dandy little,
chop it up for them. I think,
Oh, yeah.
let them do what they're gonna do, and if there's a particular area we're concerned about,
Yeah, and it's not much. I mean, I only see it more than probably 400 feet, 200 feet in each area,
I just-
max.
yeah, I mean, I guess, I just worry about like the wildlife being able to get over straw wattles if that's gonna be the plan to leave those, you know what I mean?
but again, that, it actually is blocking them from the road.
But what if they need to lay eggs someplace? Like, I hate to block their,
Or they're in the road trying to get back, I guess.
I don't, yeah.
I
I
don't
know what
know,
you're saying, but
I don't think that any of these areas are in turtle habitat.
I don't know, because I
No.
never drive on Harvard Road.
No, I
no,
don't,
'cause
I don't
that's-
think they
those
are.
are neighborhoods,
Surface
right?
grading and
Yes.
roughing.
Those are down
Yes.
in neighborhoods.
Yes. But I think the area where it would help to leave the wattles behind are at the Salem Street and School Street intersection. The other areas, we could remove them.
Well, we know there are turtles in the Salem Street.
Not at this spot, not at that spot. I don't think any of these areas are within natural heritage turtle habitat or expected turtle habitat, because they're not having,
Yeah, so the alternative is the actual vinyl silt fence that they use, not vinyl, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's, I don't know, it's a
Yeah.
plasticky stuff that
Yes.
they stake and put along, which that's the alternative.
That would definitely be a blockage.
That's
That-
gonna be a
that-
blockage.
Again, I think we let them put the stuff out there and then, because
What do you
I would rather, I don't think the turtle risk is the biggest thing here. I would be more concerned with they're milling the top of the asphalt and that, and I know they'll sweep up, but
Yep.
that's the stuff that can fly in different areas and.
Yeah, well, you know, and also it protects from, say, a vehicle has a catastrophic leak, and it happens, that's, you know, mainly why you're protecting that.
Yeah.
And also, you know, the thing is, a lot with this stuff is, you know, we assume that every catch basin out there is connected to the wetland somehow, even though it's not. But you have to, without getting into too much, you know, looking at the system itself, but if you work that way and you assume that all those, some of the catch basins might go into the ground, but you have to assume that it could be a spill into these catch basins, so we have to have the silt sacks. And
yeah, I mean, and there is, Johnson Creek is very close to the corner of Salem Street
Yeah.
and School Street. Okay.
So,
So do the wattles just get, I mean, do you just lay them, or do they have to be staked? Because
They
it's
just get
probably on a little bit of a slope.
They get staked.
yeah, they're staked.
They stake, they're about 2 by 2 squares, and then they get lined up and then staked in, and then when the job is complete, typically they can take them out, but I'd say half the time they'll take the stake out and then
Spread it.
spread
And
it,
spread.
Oh,
and then it just
okay.
We
becomes.
could do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that would be.
That, and then it
Especially
becomes.
the stakes will stay for a couple of years.
Yeah, so
probably.
they pull the stakes out, and then they just let them,
Okay.
and then just mess it up a little bit so that it can decompose.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and it helps, it's extra, compost, these type of
Thanks,
stuff.
Arthur. Okay.
Yes.
So do we only want straw wattles, or do we want straw wattles and the silt fence?
Uh,
Well, you tell us how much silt is happening.
It's not much,
Really?
because it's only, maybe it'd be wind-driven stuff, because as they're milling, they're sweeping right behind it, so it's very minimal. I mean, so, in my experience, and I've done this a lot, it's not really that much of a threat. I think
Okay.
more of a threat is an accident.
Yeah.
It's not like, but right, normal operation, it's not. And plus, millings, whatever you're milling is dense too. It's not like it's,
Right.
flying.
It's not, yeah, it's not,
Okay.
it's not
The
atomized.
thing is, what you protect about is a storm, a storm where it rains, where it then
Yeah.
becomes a stormwater runoff issue. That's what you want to protect it against.
Okay.
But this is for every construction site, but that's and the water would filter through the
straw wattle.
the straw
Yes.
water. So, that's another thing too, like, what if you're constructing that as you're doing it that day and it rains? That's what kind of stuff you want to protect them,
Okay,
so.
okay. Thank you. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Do you typically have like a spill kit?
No, the contractor probably would. Contractor would probably have to have some dry sand that they use for pickup. But they, again, so they have a sweeper, so they'll, even if they do have a spill, they sweep things up quick. They'll just take it and they take it away from them. So it wouldn't be, it's something on the contractor that I'm sure is in the contract. There is, within that, we now currently have like a 30-page, a 200-page contract, it's this thick, and it stipulates all these things, and environmental is on one of them. So they're held responsible. I'm not sure how it was done in the past, but there's actually, they sign off on all this stuff that,
Jill just asked about a spill kit, and Arthur is saying that the contractor should have one, because it's part of the contract.
Yeah.
Yep. So do we decide if we want only straw wattles, or do we want
I think we're
silt
okay with
fence?
straw
Yeah.
wattles.
Straw wattles, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll let the contractor know that. I think it's much economically beneficial to them, because
Oh, yeah.
it's, you just put it there, and then you come back and you just kind of,
Pull up the stakes.
yeah, you're not taking it out.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay,
That's another pet peeve of mine, is that after construction projects are done, and they have that other
The vinyl.
fence and the vinyl, whatever it is,
and then it gets left there.
left there forever, like, it's,
Yes.
who's picking this
It
up?
happened at Perry Park, don't.
And no one picks it up. I mean, at least if it was straw wattles, it would just decompose.
Right, they decompose.
Yeah.
And so we'll just specify that they remove the stakes
Yeah.
at the end.
Perfect.
All right. So,
Is there a name for that? Like removing the stakes and sort of spreading or scatter?
No, I think it would just be part of their item. It wouldn't be like yeah, I know what you're saying. It's
I don't know if there's a term for that or something.
No,
Standard operating.
no, because sometimes they sub that out. There's actually companies that actually that do this for a living, like, that's all they do. Because, we have a small amount. You could be doing a road that has thousands of
Miles
feet of
and
this.
miles, yeah.
They're doing a state project, miles of this, like, so there's companies that actually just come in and do it. So,
So do we have to issue a determination for the RDA, GRDA, and it's a?
Negative.
It's negative?
Yeah, negative, because we don't, it's a, it
Negative
would,
because we're not making him file a GNOI,
Yeah,
so it's
right.
negative.
so it's a
So-
negative determination, but we'll issue a permit letter.
So motion to issue a negative determination for the RDA, Groveland RDA, for the proposed roadway resurfacing at Murray Ave and Harvard Road and Salem Street and School Street intersection with a, how do you want me to say that?
Permit letter.
Oh, a permit letter will be issued.
Is there a second?
No, second.
Okay.
And you're more than welcome to come to the pre-construction meeting if
Do you,
you'd like.
if you, when you know when it
Oh,
is,
I-
I would love to come to one.
You could, yeah, we could have a representative from the conservation, because we
Yeah.
don't have a conservation agent, so maybe you can. fill
Yes.
that role.
Well, I'll probably accompany Mike since it'll be my first one.
Oh, yeah, I'll shoot you guys an email when it is, an invite.
Yeah,
You're amazing, thank you.
I'll try my best to, I don't know when it'll be, it should be before April, so maybe end of the month.
Okay.
but you're not going to, they're not going to be paving before April 15th.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
they shouldn't, they haven't got a schedule, but that's way early. I haven't even, first we have the pre-construction meeting, and it's a little bit of paperwork to be done before we get there.
Oh, I need to close the hearing.
Yes.
And
another-
close the hearing,
Oh.
friendly addendum. Bill seconds.
Yes,
Yes.
all right. Any other questions or discussion on the motion?
No.
Everybody's all set? You're all set, Fred, right? Yep. All right. All in favor of the motion to issue a permit letter and negative determination on the RDA, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? Unanimous.
All right.
All right, thank you, Arthur.
Oh, probably,
Yep, if you want
probably
to just
Yema
pass it
Road
over.
over there.
Just,
Thank you, Arthur.
All right. So I'll make a motion to open the hearing on the notice of intent, Groveland notice of intent for 5 Yema Road regarding the post-closure of the Haverhill landfill and how it's going to affect areas in Groveland. So
Second.
make a motion to open the hearing. All in favor, say aye.
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 These are all the plans.
Good evening. My name is Bruce Haskell with Langley Environmental. I'm the engineer for the.
The mic is off, I think.
Oh, is there a red light?
Is a red light.
Yep, push and hold that.
Oh, green. Again, my name is Bruce Haskell with Langdon Environmental. I'm the engineer for the City of Haverhill and Wholesome, formerly Aggregate Industries, who are the proponents for the project of, primarily the project we're going to talk about is closing the Haverhill landfill, and there's some impacts that come into Groveland, which I'll talk about in more detail. I thought it'd be appropriate to talk for a minute about the bigger project out there that's going on, since it is on the Groveland line, and you know why we're here in front of you. Give you a little background as to why we're here in front of you. The primary project that's out there is the Haverhill landfill is about a 55-acre landfill. Stopped taking solid waste from Haverhill and Groveland actually around 1981. Took some wastewater sludge after that until 1996. And was capped and closed. It is a national priorities listed Superfund site that came into the Superfund program, and again, I get a little detail, it was part of the Groveland Wells site out there. It was one of the potential sources for the Groveland Wells, and once it was in, couldn't get out there. So the project really has been done over the last 20 years. It's overseen by EPA. It's a Superfund site. The primary oversight is Mass DEP under their solid waste management regulations. The site really is, there's been sort of 3 sets of actions, and this is the 3rd that we're going to take out there. The first set of actions, and just to orient you here, Groveland, the lumber yard here, Merrimack River, Johnson Creek sort of running through here, and the Merrimack River there. Old Groveland Road that turns into Main Street is sort of just off this plan south. Well, it's actually true south on here. So the 3 things that have happened out there. The first really significant action, and there's been, assessments, a lot of work going on, and I can certainly delve into those a little bit, but the first work that happened out there was documented drum disposal and hazardous waste lagoon disposal on the northern mound. And so between 2004 and 2006, there was about a $6 million removal action where the material was dug up and taken off site for disposal, depending on appropriate licensed locations out there. The second item that was done is there's 2 mounds to the landfill. There's a southern mound and a northern mound. The southern mound was capped around 2012. It was completed out there. There's now a solar field. It actually doesn't show up on this aerial photo on the southern mound that you can see from as you pass into Haverhill onto Old Groveland Road out there from the road out there. The third phase is the phase that we're looking to implement starting this summer for about a 2-year period, which is the final capping of the northern mound in an area known as Lot 26 Ash area here, which was discovered as an extra small landfilled area when we were doing the southern mound capping 10 years ago that needs to be capped. The real purpose of the project is to put a cap, which is to keep an impermeable barrier to keep the water from going in and isolate the waste that is out there. I will quickly say that there has been extensive sampling and analysis out here that has shown that the landfill, even in its current condition, doesn't have a significant impact to human health, safety, or environment out there. So there's a lot of data, and again, tons of years and years and years of sampling and sediments and wetlands and groundwater and everything else out there. About 4 or 5 years ago, we were in front of the commission to get an RDA because we were moving forward with capping the landfill. We got very far down that process, and the city of Haverhill decided that I think when we met, I can't remember which commissioners were there, we met here. The Quonset hut building is right about here, out there. We met here and walked around a little bit because it was really some wetlands that came down through here, right in this area where it sort of gets away from the municipal boundary gets away from Johnson Creek. We met and talked about that, and the idea was we're just going to cap the landfill. Maybe they'll put some solar on it in the future. The prior mayor of Haverhill decided in his last year that it was a good idea to put recreational fields on the landfill, and this is primarily an idea I believe that was driven out of the bike, the proposal to extend the bike path along the National Grid property that bisects here and then connect with the existing bike path that comes into Groveland, which is in a planning process, through Mass DOT. I don't know exactly where it stands out there, but there. So that was part of that. But to build a couple of fields, open spaces up here, and then to have a trail system that would come out and allow people to sort of get out to the edge of the river out there. There is no direct river access here. It's not a great location for that because of the sort of a large sandbar here that you'd have to access over. Out there.
We'll probably make one.
No, it's going to be hard because the bottom of this slope is a stone. Just because it's you remember the land. I don't believe we walked out to the edge of the landfill, but essentially, when they were operating it, they backed the trucks up and dumped over the edge, and this slope is almost vertical right now of waste into the landfill in some places out there, and it's undermined and it's a mess here. So we have to peel that back and put some stone in here just because this is all within the floodplain out there. So as part of this process, and it's a long story how we got here. We've been working with Natural Heritage to get a conservation and management permit, and we're very close to actually getting the final permit from them for the work in Haverhill. Bald eagles, sturgeons, and wood turtles. Okay, so none of it and again, this is outside of Groveland, but I think it's important. None of the work that we're doing is going to go down into the water, so we don't affect the sturgeons. We are going to provide a roosting area for an eagle pole, like a telephone pole system here off the landfill that can be used. The closest nests are 2,000 to 4,000 feet away from here. We've got some determinations on that there. So, and the trees that are along here have been determined to not be great. They're not good nested. They're very weak trees because they're on top of an old dump site out there. The wood turtle, Natural Heritage mapped some area in here as potential habitat out there, and the habitat along here and then further to the south, which I'll show in a minute, was, it has a sandy substrate. It could be good nesting habitat for the turtles. We retained Oxbow Associates to look at the habitat area. They said no signs of turtles right now, but it's possibly a good spot. So through the conservation and management permit, we agreed to put a nesting area for the turtles out there. Initially, it was going to go in this area before there was a parking lot here within Haverhill, and it was going to be put here and then some fencing around it. But because it's going to be a parking lot and keeping cars away from the turtles, we've moved it down further to the south and into Groveland, and into the area that the property are. So one of the things that, this area was the former batch plant, and I'll orient you in a moment. Out there, there was an asphalt batch plant here that sort of straddled, a predecessor to Wholesome and Aggregate Industries operated, that straddled the line here between the city and the town out there, and went from there. So just to orient you there, this is the parking lot we were just looking at. This is the Southern Mound, Old Groveland Road, turning into Main Street when it crosses the town line. Johnson Creek coming through here. These are a couple of ponds that were associated with the asphalt plant that had, I'll call them dams. They were actually listed as dams, but they don't really exist much anymore besides it's just upper areas here. The area here is almost all sandy and just above, and roughly at the elevation of the 100-year floodplain. So it's elevation 18 to 20. 100-year floodplain is 21 out there. So that, that is just in this area. So what we agreed to do, the existing access road that comes through here is the old asphalt batch plant. It's still fairly actively used by National Grid, who has a substation, I should point it out on the aerial, and also uses it to access their lines that go up and down back into Groveland and across down towards, down along the river, of the entire length of the river on the Bradford side out there. So our proposal is to put about a 10,000 square foot turtle nesting area in this location. We did note that we're going to consult with Natural Heritage on the actual final location of it out there. And then to construct turtle barriers both here, and we've talked to them a little bit about moving them a little further out here so that people driving in and out of the road, are kept away from the turtles. And the turtle barriers will be a short fence, tight chain link fence that will keep them out. There will also be a turtle barrier. It's in the plans that you have up in this area. It's because to keep the turtles from coming up into here once the parking lot is there. And again, the exact extent of those will be determined based on discussions with Natural Heritage. So, we're here for to request an order of conditions under both the state and town regulations bylaw. For doing this work within Groveland. We're also going to upgrade this road. It's currently paved. It needs some work to be done out there to get it to do. And then there's some just sort of line of sight approval, things along here to sort of look up and down the road and see what, to provide a little better turn for people coming out and taking a right or left coming out of the facility there. So with that, I mean, there's a lot going on here, and I can answer questions or provide any more detail that the commission would want. And I certainly would welcome coming back out and taking a look at the on the ground
So that would be
what's going on out there.
How do you create you're gonna dig it up and put sand in there or something to create?
There's already sand in there. Okay, so there's a detail in the plans, and actually when I was sitting here, I forgot that I should have blown that one up, but there's a detail in the plans, and it's going to be, I believe, some blueberry bush plantings out there. There's some stone. There's going to be a requirement under the conservation management permit to, sort of put a deed restriction on this area for this purpose out there.
cool.
Out there. And again, the details of that will work out, but there'll be some, sort of area out here. Because a lot of this, it doesn't show well in this plan, but a lot of this is treed right now.
Yeah.
Out there. So the area that's sort of open is there. The area sort of to this, you can see these are old piles there. They're like, sort of half asphalt piles and things and some other materials. And you're getting up into the landfill up there. So this is not an area that we think they're going to, want to get into, or Oxbow. I mean, I'm not an expert on wood turtles, but that was what their conclusion was. But they felt that this is a good area. It'll be quiet enough that they'll be able to, done that. And we've had years and years and years of discussions with Natural Heritage as this project is sort of
Okay, and you
ebbed and
just
flowed.
leave the piles of asphalt there?
It's a pile it's more of a gravel pile, I should have called it out
okay.
there, so yeah. They cleaned out this property back maybe 10 or 15 years ago. They took all the equipment out, they knocked down some of the buildings. There's still a little bit of debris that we're going to clean up that's up in here. And some other miscellaneous things, but they did essentially, get the material out of. They actually shipped the equipment to, I believe it was Brazil, out there, the old asphalt batch plants out there. So it didn't seem to make sense to me, but out there.
That house there is the house that we looked at that's in the flood.
Yes. So this is Yema Road.
Yema Road, right?
So, so you drive in Yema Road, and there's a gate there, and it goes off. After you go through the gate, it kind of goes off to the right a bit. The road continues, and yeah, so that area is all within Groveland.
It is all within Grove. So the municipal boundary comes through here, and it essentially from here almost all the way to you get up here. And this is a battery storage area out there.
Yeah.
That was put in as part of the solar project. Right when you get about there, it crosses over into.
But all the
Haverhill.
land to the right of that roadway is all within Groveland.
Yes,
Yeah.
all in there.
So I haven't personally been out there probably since, probably about, I want to say at least 8 years ago. So,
Well, we looked at that house a couple of years ago.
oh yeah, that house, but I'm talking about actually
Going out here.
beyond the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually,
I'm on 8 years.
we walked out there with somebody, I want to say.
I walked out there. I can't remember, but it wasn't. I don't know if it was 8 years ago, but it was a little more recent than that
Well, it
out
was
there.
before my time, and I've
Before
been
your time, but
2019.
I thought you were there.
So that's
It
6
was-
years.
We were traipsing, because I remember the Quonset hut discussion.
Yep. Yep.
Yep,
So, that was,
could be,
I'm 2019, so it's before that.
no,
I-
but I know I went out there with one of the selectmen
Oh, I
in
see.
like 2016,
Okay.
showing him the area.
There was a lot of controversy about the Southern Mound project because they were importing fill from Central Artery in Boston. That goes out. That goes back to 2008 timeline out there. So that goes back. I'm working on this project longer than I care to count, but it goes back to the 2008 because there was a lot of discussion with the selectmen of Groveland and Georgetown about the truck route coming
Yeah,
in
right.
out there and splitting the truck routes and everything else out there through facility. I just say that is not a aspect of the project that we're talking about here. You know, there's no space for anything like that here.
So, is it true now that Haverhill's building a recreation area out there, right?
Yes.
And the only entrance into it is gonna be from Yema Road,
Yes.
right? Right?
Is it currently private? Is it
No,
gated and
it's
it's gonna become
it's
public?
not a private road.
It's just gated. to get
It actually, there's a paper street that runs all the way through this property. And again, I've never looked at the full out there, but it shows up on, we've done obviously all the title and everything work out there, but it goes all the way to the National Grid property out there, so.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And, you know,
Yema was the original owner and operator of the batch plant out there, so that the Yema family was. That
yes,
was it.
right.
Yep, so that's, I think that's how we got.
So, the previous filing with us was to remove those buildings that were in that area
Yep, up here, I can turn it over if you like.
up there, but there were also earlier, they removed some other buildings.
Oh, you know, you're right, that probably was a filing with you.
Yeah.
So there was some buildings that, so the batch plant was in here, so it would have been partly within the town.
Yes.
And then there was some things up here that they removed, and that was a Haverhill side of the fence issue there. But there was some, the batch, like this slope here, the batch plant sort of sat right in here.
Yeah.
So that
There
would have
were-
been, and
there
it would have
were
been
some
jurisdictional.
Old, smaller buildings that were in the wetland area
Mm-hmm.
to the right of the road there.
Yep, yes. Yeah, they did, again, they cleaned it all up, and 8 years might be right, it might even be a little longer than
Oh,
that
yeah,
out there,
no,
yeah,
I
out there.
think that goes way back.
Yeah, that could go back to 2012, 2010
right,
timeline
right.
out there,
Right,
out there.
okay. So, I think we're interested in just going to take a look at it, if you don't mind.
No, I fully understand. It's
Just
not a,
because it's a little difficult to get, it's kind of a complicated site. I'm sure you'll agree with me, and then we've got the town line there, and what's actually in Groveland, what's in Haverhill, and then you've got the Johnson's Creek further up and all of that. So I'd love to go back out there and take a look at it just to see, because I haven't seen, like I say, I haven't been out there in quite a while to really see some of the changes that have taken place.
absolutely. That's why I offered it up, because I think it's worth seeing, and you'll understand it better just seeing it in the field and looking at my red circled plans here out there.
So the, really the thing that we're approving mostly is the turtle mitigation area.
Yes.
What else? What else
Paving.
is in?
The paving is going to be within the riverfront from here, and it actually skirts along the edge of the floodplain out there. So it's actually outside the floodplain.
Yep.
But it's really just reestablishing that paving coming through
Yeah.
there.
And so that's in the riverfront area.
It's currently
Yes.
paved?
It's currently paved. There's and again, I say it's not pavement that's in good shape
Yeah.
out there. I just, I don't want you to think it's,
Was paid.
yeah. It was paved at one point. It was an asphalt plant.
But they're gonna make it a regular area where the public.
Yes.
Public
Right.
is not driving in there now, but eventually. the
No.
public is-
The only people driving in there now are the Mass Electric with trucks out there and
Right.
things. And it is maintained now. It's plowed.
Yep.
They need constant access in through there.
Yeah,
Is it going to have to be widened too? I mean, I imagine.
No, actually, no, it's not really going to have to be really widened at all. It's a fairly wide, it's a 20 to 24-foot road in there, so it's really going to be there. I mean, what's going to be changed out is if there's material that's outside of, that just is falling apart and disrepair.
so there's no plans to put any other structures or uses of that land in the riverfront area within the town of Groveland.
No, it's all within the floodplain.
Yeah.
And that, if I read your bylaw correctly, that makes it very difficult, if not almost impossible, to do any kind of, full development out there.
Yeah.
I mean, Wholesome owns the property. They have no intention, of doing, they have no plans to do anything with the property. The only thing they don't own is down, sort of
Yeah,
this,
those-
this parcel down here, and I don't remember where it
lots.
ends out there, but they even own all this. This is sort of looks like almost a rock outcrop there.
Yeah. And the EPA also has a limitation on digging into the soil on all of that property, is that correct?
Not on this property here. This was not part of the landfill out there ever. It was the asphalt batch plant. It's really only the landfill up here and obviously the northern mound
Left of the roadway is restricted.
is restricted
Right of
out
it
there.
is.
And I can show you when we go out in the field where that restriction starts out there. But it's really, there's an edge of, and again, it's not pertinent to this plan, I can add it to this plan, but there's an edge of the landfill, the cap that comes across here. You can't dig in there, but somebody could dig something right here if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
But it's not, there's not a real lot of use out there for that.
Yeah, and where is the solar field?
The solar field is on top of the southern mound here.
Okay,
Out there. So this, when you're driving up here, this is the old access into the landfill. It's right off of Old Groveland Road here. And if you look up this way, there's a sort of stormwater basin here, but there's,
there's another entrance further down on,
yeah, but it's cut off from everything else. Now, when we capped this area, that entrance was sort of cut off and you couldn't really, there's another road that comes up here and there's you can see the swale that comes through here out there that cut it off. That was part of the drainage for that area.
okay, all right.
It's going to be competition for VZ Park sledding.
Yeah, right.
It will be. If
Yeah,
they-
I know,
If they
right?
open that up.
Well, I think the southern mound is always going to be restricted because it actually has a fence around it
Oh, it has a
out there because the solar and then the conduit, because everything, you can't dig, everything is above ground.
Okay.
So it's restricted and there's a fence, around here to keep people from going up the road. And we did look at, because this is sort of going down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but the top is probably one of the nicest views in this area of the Merrimack River, both into Haverhill and then down past the bridge. And so we looked at putting something up there. There just is no room really left up there. So we wanted to have an observation area up there, but there's no room for parking. There's no way to go up and around. It's all up and back.
Yeah.
And the solar issues, you have to restrict that.
So we have a 6-acre parcel that somehow it abuts this up in probably the far right, up in the corner of this parcel up there.
Here?
I think you might be able to see it better on the
Yeah.
flip side.
Further up.
It's behind the electric company building there. Besides the Estes
Estes?
place,
Yeah.
and then behind that. So,
So we know that this is Estes, the old lumber
yeah.
cutting.
We,
This, I think, was owned by him too, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay, yes.
But
So it's. This is the railway thing.
Mhm.
So actually, it's gotta be like.
it's all of that, yeah. That's,
Really?
Just replanted it with blueberries and pine trees, that spot.
But it's not, there's not trees there, so
No,
it's
it's
kind
like
of
a-
hard to.
yeah, it's,
see.
It may be that, let me go get a property line, let me get a GIS property line to look at that, because I always thought there's a trust that's the SD Family Trust or
Well, he
something that
gave
owns
us
this.
a piece.
this is the parking lot for the electric building.
Yes, yes.
So
Yeah.
it's-
So
Should
it's
be
all
a-
this thing. It's owned by
Should be in a butter plan in here somewhere.
the person who owns Estes now. It's not owned by Estes anymore.
Yeah, it's a,
So it's 6-acre, it's a 6-acre parcel, and he's donating that to the town of Groveland if he hasn't already done that. So
Okay.
that's our interest. And, this is the community trail
Mhm.
extension that eventually, so that's what, the other thing I like to look at is what Havel is planning on doing there to their connection.
I can find out what the status of that is out there. I know, I periodically hear about it, but again, I'm not involved in that project, and it's a much larger project going all the way into, for quite a distance there.
It's so interesting that they're gonna put athletic fields
You
there.
get over the brook
Yeah.
where the old Groveland
So
Station used to
inaccessible,
be.
though.
I
Yeah,
know, what a
that's
weird,
right.
weird
That's
place,
right.
and there's athletic fields a mile away from there.
What kind of station?
They looked at other locations in the city, and other locations were not as good. And, if you think about if you've seen a capped landfill, it's a grass.
Bradford Rail Trail that used to
Sorry,
be.
I'm trying not to talk to people.
By
It
McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts.
works well for fields. I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah,
places that have done
attached
that
to it.
out there.
Wow.
Yeah, so eventually Haver's slow in getting their money to do
Yeah,
that
because
part of
there's a
the
little
trail.
bridge that needs to be,
Yeah, there's a bridge, the Johnson Creek,
Replaced.
there's all that's left is the abutments here
yep.
out
there's
there
that
at the
one
edge
on
there.
there.
That's, I think, is a significant issue or, you know,
Yes.
item for that, making that last connection.
Yes.
And then obviously.
They've got a request to get money for the remainder of the
the
trail
only
and also that
connection.
bridge.
Yeah, they're in the TIP program, I believe, somewhere in there. I can find out exactly where they are.
Sure.
And we have a concept, I know there's a concept plan
Yep.
that I've seen flashed up on a screen in the Zoom meeting there.
Because that would be amazing if people.
Can I ask about the southern mound?
Sure.
Was there a lot of post-construction monitoring happening in Johnson's Creek to ensure, there weren't impacts to the resource areas there?
So there is.
Part of the solid waste?
Yes, so there is a series of groundwater monitoring wells that come down along, so groundwater here generally flows, if you will, like northeast out there towards the river, but there can be components of it that could flow more locally to Johnson Creek. So there's a set of groundwater wells, it's not on this plan, but right in this area here, there. And then there's a set of wells further down. They also take surface water samples in Johnson Creek to try to see what's there. Really, the groundwater here has been, I would say it's just typical of old municipal landfills. It doesn't, the Superfund named as not, it's not, it is a Superfund site, but it's not showing the kind of, contamination you would normally associate with that.
It's crazy that they would put that next to a river.
Just right on top of it.
Unfreaking believable.
Yeah,
There's otters in that creek.
Yeah, this was a sandbar, like a sand island, and they built, the rail line was here, and they just started, once they got across, they just started dumping and
Awful.
went. I can't. It was before I was around, actually, out there, so,
How America was built.
yeah, no, that's what it was. I mean, that's what they did
Boston.
out there.
Oh, Boston's also awful.
And the ash site, ash is pretty bad.
Really
It's
bad.
stuff,
full of
right? So
PCBs.
No,
ash
well,
could just get capped in the same.
ash is usually just capped out there. So ash is, the primary contaminant you worry about with ash is lead out there. And then we do monitor, there's a well that's right, the series of wells that are here, there's 3 of them, I believe. And we monitor those, and we really haven't found lead above. Again, when I say we haven't found it, we are comparing to like drinking water standards. So that would be the standard that if I went to your house and you had a well, I'm comparing to against that.
It's all
out
done
there.
leaching out already, I guess.
So lead only leaches under certain chemical conditions, and if those chemical conditions don't exist, it will just stay out there. And there's all kinds of types that leach. Arsenic is an issue throughout in the groundwater throughout this area, throughout the Merrimack River Valley, Central Worcester, things like that. So the same concept there.
Yeah.
So I certainly willing to, we would request a continuance
Yes.
on that process, and then, if we could work out a time to go out there and walk.
Like I say, we would appreciate the ability to go out there, even though obviously we don't have anything to say about the Haverhill side of things and stuff, but just to get the bigger picture of things and look at the whole place. It's like I'm dying to get back out there again. But, so can we do a Saturday morning kind of thing?
Sure, that's fine.
Have you already done the site visits with Natural Heritage on that turtle? Lake
Yes,
right there?
on several times out there. So we've talked to them about this numerous times. We had to go through the MEPA process, and we had to do environmental impact reports, and they were drawn into that process. That's really the primary time when we were out there with them.
So
What's Haverhill
they've been-
doing about this?
Haverhill we filed a notice of intent. We filed an amendment to it for this, for the fields and the new project. Their hearing is being continued because when DEP commented on their hearing, they said they couldn't issue it until their order until the conservation and management permit was issued out there. So we're waiting to get that, and then we'll go back to them and say, here it is out there. We have a couple questions which are the questions you asked the prior hearings, with the different things out there.
All right, so who's got anything wrong with doing it on March 29th?
I am going to Florida that week.
Okay,
How dare you take a vacation?
how about April 5?
That's the problem out there. It's for
Oh,
2
you're
weeks
still
out there.
away.
I'm still away, yes,
All right.
out there. I could get somebody to fill in for me if you'd like, out there. I could certainly get somebody
No,
to fill
This
in
seems like it
We're
should
not
be
in a
you.
hurry.
out there. I mean, I have the longest history of the project of anybody probably out there.
So if we moved it to, say, April 12th, right? Saturday, April 12th?
That's after our next meeting.
Yeah, that's the day I'm flying back, actually.
Oh,
This is
okay.
I will tell you what, my daughter lives far away. She's coming to meet us there, so I took a
Well,
little extra time off
Here's the
here.
thing, though, our next meeting is on April 9th, so if you don't mind that we postpone our decision, probably wouldn't be until May then.
I would prefer if we could do it in April, if at all possible. Is there any way of doing it the next 2 Saturdays or on a Wednesday afternoon or what? I mean, I could do it any time. I'll make time to do
Second
it.
is rough because that's that Ipswich breakfast.
Yeah.
What about a Sunday, the 23rd?
I can do Sundays, if that works for, if that's.
Oh, but he's gone on the 27th.
Oh, yeah, I'm gone. I'm leaving on the 26th.
Oh, well,
you're
let's do
leaving
the
it.
23rd then.
Oh, but we could do Saturday, the 22nd.
We can't because that's the Ipswich breakfast. It's muy importante.
I didn't know we were going to that.
Yes, we have a table for 8.
But that doesn't involve everybody else.
No, but
Or we could do the afternoon of the 20, some other time.
we could do the
22nd.
afternoon, or what's wrong with the 23rd? You have to go to church.
Well, I'm in Revere usually on Sundays. So we could do.
What day did you say, Tuesday afternoon?
I fly out on 26th. I think it's a Wednesday.
But you said.
I could do any afternoon you want. I'm
We could do
20 minutes away, so.
Saturday, the 22nd afternoon, right? Stephanie?
Yes,
Yeah, all right.
1 o'clock, Saturday, the 22nd.
Well, why don't we say 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock, Saturday, the 22nd.
It's fine with me. I'll put it on the calendar.
Bill, Fred, that's okay?
I appreciate your flexibility here. My
No,
No,
thank
we're
you.
excited.
my daughter lives very far away. I don't get to see her a lot, so it's sort of a, you know.
All right, so March 22nd
Does
at
she live in
2
New Jersey?
PM.
Because that's where you sound like.
Boy, I grew up in Connecticut and went to college in New Jersey. I lived in New
Ah.
Jersey for about 10 years, so out
Okay,
there.
got it.
New York, New Jersey.
So
out there.
hopefully the weather
It's my
is good
specialty.
that day.
Right.
And it's not raining and snowing and windy and terrible.
It's going to be beautiful.
We're
'Cause
done
that's
with
kind
that.
of our best slot. But,
I mean, we could have a backup day for a weekday afternoon.
yeah,
I can always get somebody else to go out there and show you what's going on. I mean, there's, Epsilon did the wetlands work. I can get somebody from there to meet you if for some reason you get a snowstorm or something's going on that we can't get there.
And we're going to meet at 5 Yema?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
meet right at the end of the
At the
at the
gate.
gate, and then we can walk in because you'll probably see most everything from there.
yeah, we can walk, that's fine.
Yep.
All right, so
All
we'll
right, so
go with that,
22nd at 2.
PM, yeah.
Perfect. I really do appreciate the
No,
flexibility
again, thank you.
out there. So,
I can't wait to read through this.
well, yeah. If you have any questions, let me know. I mean,
Okay.
it is largely focused on the work in Groveland, obviously, but again, it's part of a bigger project that just happens to be well, where all landfills are on the town line out there. So,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you
All
very
right.
much. I'll see you on the 22nd. If there's anything that comes up in the interim,
Yes.
feel free to reach out to
Yes.
me, and you have my contact information, and we'll go from there. So,
Okay.
okay. Thank you.
Motion to continue the hearing on the Haverhill landfill
Is that
to our
Exact
next
photo
meeting.
in here?
Second.
This is not, I'll share
I just want to take a picture of it if that's okay.
I can share this with somebody if you'd like out there.
Second.
I was already seconded.
Okay.
The plan is
Yes.
All right, all in favor of continuation until April 9th, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, it's unanimous. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
That was excellent, thank you. Whoops. Just with
All
the
right.
stupid spiral? They didn't put it in all the way. It's really annoying.
So, before we go into anything else, there was an item not reasonably anticipated at the time of posting, and that was from Peter Bladell of Williams Barrages to request a seasonal waiver period to do some work at Whitestone Village. So I think Peter's on there, right? Hi, Peter.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Good. Peter, I want to tell you that we used your
Easel.
easel today. You left it at the meeting when you were last here, so I hope you don't mind that, but next time you're in town, you can stop by and pick it up.
I'm glad to contribute. I will certainly do that. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Do you want me to share the drawing, just so everybody can refresh their memory, or does everybody kind of remember Whitestone Village?
I remember.
It's down that area.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So tell us what needs to be done first, and then we'll let you know.
Sure. So I think you recall we came before the commission in January just to request a winter work waiver. Part of it, as you recall, is there's some wet areas behind Building 600 that we're trying to solve by just creating some better flow paths and an infiltration trench and just take the roof runoff and get that away from the building. So most of the work was completed back in January during the request that we had made. I actually received an email today from the contractor just saying that things have been moving along very well and that they have maybe another day's worth of work or so just to finish up the stone trench and some of the other areas that need to be loam and seeded within the buffer zone. So they didn't want to do that without asking your permission first, because if they have to wait for the normal construction season to open up, which I forget, is it April 1st or mid-April?
April 15th.
April 15th, yeah. They're actually hoping to start the repaving right around that time. So they'd like to have this all kind of done and wrapped up so that they can keep on schedule for having the repave brought in. So we requested a week to finish this. I don't think it's going to be that much, but I just thought just to make sure in case we get any bad weather over the next week or so, we just, be safe in case there's a day you can't work or that type of thing. But really just wrapping up some of that areas in the drainage system that was approved. And yeah, that's really just it. Just trying to tie this up and just asking to work it in the winter.
Okay. So I think what we could do is grant a waiver up to a week, and then they can just pay $200 per day of any days that they actually
Any
work.
days, yeah.
Right, those were the same terms that we gave them at the last time we granted this.
Yep.
Yep, that's absolutely fine. We'll keep track of how many days it is, and we'll let you know, and then we can pay the I don't want to call it a fine. Pay the fee.
Fee. Don't use
Fee,
that word,
sorry.
fine.
It
No,
just
'cause
popped in there.
as you know, fines, we don't get those, so.
That's true. Yeah, we don't request to be fined. We're requesting a fee, though.
Right,
Thank you.
plus you don't want to be requesting to be fined.
That's right.
All right, so I'll make a motion to grant up to 1 week of a seasonal restriction waiver for the work at Whitestone Village as permitted under the previous filing.
Second.
Any questions on that motion?
Nope.
No, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank you, Peter.
Thanks for actually coming in front of us. We
Yeah, right.
appreciate that.
I know, they didn't need to do that.
No,
Might not
that's
have known.
quite all right. We want to make sure everything's above board.
Yep,
Oh,
no,
thank you,
appreciate it.
thank you.
Thanks. Have a good evening, everyone.
All right,
Bye, Peter.
Bye now.
all right, so, try to get things wrapped up here. So, let's see, back to number 5, 6, and 7. So, let's see my notes. Okay, all right. I don't have any forms and documents updates. As far as the Trails Enhancement Project, I think I told you last time that we are filing for CPA funds this year for trails enhancement. The Community Preservation Committee decided to end all the prior project. There was really only one, the former Bagnell project. And instead, we put a new project together with the Recreation Committee. And it's for doing trail enhancements at 4 of our properties along the river and also the community trail. And, let's see, where is it? Here it is. Here it is. So, for a total, the project is $73,000, and it involves benches, trail markers, trail signs, trail map signs, trash containers, dog waste containers, kiosks, bridges, and diorama signage at the community trail. And so I'll pass that around if you just want to take a quick look at it. So I'm happy with it. I think it's not going to have any problem passing at town meeting. It's a good project. And we talk about our stewardship program, expanding our stewardship program. We kind of have that in place for VZ Park. We've got Doug, who's kind of steward of the property up there. We've got some people doing it at Town Forest who live at Nichols Village. And we also have a couple of people who are willing to take care of Meadow Pond. So we really just need to expand it a bit to cover the remaining properties. And so the project will enable us to come up with some standards for things like benches, trail signs, maps, everything. So I'm really excited about it.
That sounds great.
Yes.
What kind of signage? Is it going to be like environmental education type signage? Like this is a
No, more just,
Eastern White Pine?
more just trail, there's some nice trail map signage in Town Forest.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of thing that I'd like to come up with for the rest of our particular,
Oh,
all
yeah,
of
it
the
looks like
trails.
this, like some of the
Okay.
signage that's
It would be
at
nice
Town
to have some
Forest.
like
Yeah.
educational type signage too. Like,
Yeah.
This is a wetland.
Yeah,
This is-
well, yes. I
What does a
saw
wetland
some
do?
Yeah,
good
exactly.
signage along the rail trail in Newburyport where they actually pointed out this is invasive,
Yeah.
different species, and it was, so that kind of thing, it's not, there, that has some particulars, but there's enough money in there to put other signage and other educational, type materials in there.
For the Center Street Greenway, Strawberry Fields,
Yep.
how much do we want to encourage people to be in there with the turtle mitigation area?
As long as people are on the trails, it's fine. The trails are there. The trails have been there forever. I would just say we don't,
Can we have a sign that says, watch out for turtles?
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I think, like, we probably don't
Huh?
want people riding bikes or
Yes.
stuff through there.
I just want to be careful because it's sort of a delicate.
No, we have to because there's a conservation
Ecosystem.
restriction on that.
Okay, good. And then the other, at VZ Park,
Yes.
there's some trails that go directly under where like some eagles hang out. So do we need to be careful? Like, would it be worth checking in with, say, Audubon or somebody to advise us of how much trail enhancement we should be doing where there are eagles?
Yeah,
You
well,
talk about trail closures also, because that's what they do over Newburyport.
At Maudsley,
Yeah.
Maudsley, whichever.
yeah,
Both of them.
During like nesting season or
Yeah.
something?
yeah. No, we could do that. No,
Those are
there's
my
I
only two
think that's a
concerns.
national heritage,
There's-
natural heritage conversation.
Nothing to prevent those kind of actions anywhere, because those
Nothing to
are,
prevent in trail enhancement, you mean? I
No,
just don't,
Nothing- No, nothing to prevent closing trails or.
Yeah,
doing-
okay.
or
I just don't want to
educational
encourage too much
things.
traffic in delicate places, that's all.
yeah. Well, again, we could see what could be the impact. And like Fred says, if the impact was during nesting season or something, maybe we close that particular area. In particular, Center Street Greenway, it might be that not the entire area, but a large part of those parcels is within natural heritage. So, might be that we close certain areas during certain times of the year.
Well, but the turtles should be around, a wood turtle is terrestrial anyway, right? So like, they would be around regardless of whether it's nesting season, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I've never
but-
seen one.
No, but, those are the times when it's most sensitive,
Okay.
So,
I mean, there is a lot to be said for survival of the fittest too, so let's.
Survival of the, I mean, look at how
I'm
much
saying for the-
place we're chewing up.
No,
These
I'm
are
s-
very
but I'm talking
endangered
about-
species.
Yes, we should protect them during nesting season, but when it's, we can't shut down everything just so they can
Well,
walk.
I don't know if I want to encourage traffic someplace where we have 3 turtles left in the entire state of Massachusetts.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, it's, we gotta be careful that it's a balance, right? We can certainly protect them during certain times that's more sensitive, but, there's enough dead turtles on the streets now that we can't, that. we're not-
There are places that close down roads for salamanders, turtles, toads.
yeah,
So, there's something to be said for that also.
right
Or
now.
building turtle throughways.
Right now, I would say Center Street Greenway is probably the least used area.
Right now,
It's
but now
the
you're gonna
least-
enhance it and add
No.
signage and add dog poo things. And what if a dog goes running out and grabs a turtle? So like,
Well,
Are they-
we can address that stuff regardless of what's going on under this project.
okay,
This project doesn't talk about things like rules for use of the trails. Those are outside of this project.
yes, I just worried, like I say, about enhancing trails to the extent that many more thousands of people use those trails.
Well, yes, but, that's an issue everywhere. I'm concerned about the trails in Meadow Pond, what's gonna happen to those trails when they build those 5 buildings there on Sewell Street?
Yes,
You know,
or
when you
when
get-
they open the dam.
Yeah, when you get all these kids running around crazy in the woods there. I don't know, we'll see.
Are they still playing cricket down
Oh, in
Yeah, but it's
Center
on
Street?
this side
Yeah.
of the,
Yeah, those are
it's on
in
this
the,
side of the
the-
turtle mitigation area.
Those are not in our
at? Not in
area.
our stuff, no, but.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'll try to keep you informed of what that, but it's coming up at town meeting, and I expect it to be able to pass, so. So I also passed out to you the mission and budget. The budget for conservation didn't really change. We've got some of our fees going towards that. We've got our agent on there, which if we ever get to hire somebody, I think the town administrator is planning on looking for a person who can do both planning and conservation if that passes. So we'll see where that goes.
Annie is still with the town?
Yeah, she working for
Yeah.
the town administrator though. And she does help out now and
Yeah,
then
no, I
with
just
conservation things.
Haven't seen her in a little while.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to tell you about is just an update on VZ. The Friends of VZ are paying for a new roof on the barn. They expect to get that done in April. It's so much needed, it's probably gonna cost about $12,000, of which, we can't afford to pay for. But the Friends of VZ is paying for it, so that's great. Recently got donated a computer for use in the office by Vanessa, our director there. And we are going to replace, I think I talked about this last time, the fire alarm sensors. We're gonna replace 20% of them for about $2,500. That's all we're gonna be able to afford to do this year. But other than that, we're holding our own on VZ Park. VZ Park is not going broke. We're able to carry it, and our rentals and event rentals are paying for the operation of the place, so that's good. Any other items for discussion?
What's this begin work on Crosstown Trail with assistance from town administrator? Begin work on Crosstown Trail.
Yes, so, we have another community preservation project that was put through, I think, in 2022. And we really haven't been able to make any progress on it, partly because of the COVID baloney and everything else. So the town administrator suggested that we start by hiring a trails consultant to design that trail and see where we can go from there. We may have to put a phase 2 together to fund the trail construction. But this trail goes from Main Street, kind of across from the Pentucket School, all the way up through a trail easement in Nichols Village,
Oh,
through
village.
Town Forest,
Yes.
across Wood Street on some
Okay.
other property that we own. We need a trail easement through a small parcel, private piece of land to get to Center Street, and then it connects to the state property on the other side of Center Street.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah, no,
Really
it's like
awesome.
gonna be really cool.
Yeah. Fred will have geocaches all over it.
Yes, and so, it will get you into the state property, which is cool too up there.
Yeah,
My kids can just walk home from high school
absolutely.
to Wood Street. Yeah.
Any other questions? So I think we've covered everything. Our next meeting is scheduled for April 9th. We've got that site visit on the 22nd. So I'm excited about getting out there and seeing that. Hopefully it's a nice day.
I've got two things. One thing that I learned at MACC over the weekend, last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, at the end of this month, the COVID era allowance for having hybrid virtual meetings and allowing for votes virtually ends the end of this month.
Oh, so no
So
more.
this scenario wouldn't have worked unless they vote to continue that
Ah.
COVID rule that they had.
Interesting.
So you won't be able to collect a vote.
If you're not here, you're not
Virtually.
here, period.
Yeah.
So even though it's a town permitted thing,
That's what they said. If it's virtual,
so it would apply only to DEP filings, but not to local bylaw filings.
oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
But most of ours are dual, so
Yeah.
still,
Well, there's something to be said for that because, for example, somebody online would not be able to vote on seeing
yeah.
the Haverhill discussion.
Right, right.
So, I mean, it's hard to disagree with that.
Yep.
So, interesting. What was the other thing, Jill?
Oh, was just curious about Earth Day.
Yeah,
Oh,
so-
yes.
If we want to do
yes.
something.
Thank you for bringing that up. You said you had a contact with Merrimack Valley Planning Commission or Merrimack River, somebody or other?
Yeah, could do that.
Because we had briefly discussed doing like a naturalist or ecologist-led amble through some of the trails at the Pines, and then afterward have a little cleanup at the Pines on her.
That's one idea. Yeah, Stephanie and I talked about that at the last site walk, which would be very easy. And if we could get a Merrimack River expert to come and talk about the
Oh,
river.
just focus along the river?
Yeah.
Because then
And,
there's
you know, like all
parking over
ages
there
and
and.
hand out some
The
trash
Last,
bags.
last year, I cleaned that area up with my grandkids, and didn't really take long, because it's really not that messy down there.
A lot of
Although
dog poop.
there is a lot of junk if you go right along the river, because it gets
Yeah.
caught, you know what I mean? So it would be worth it. And the other thing I found is that even and I won't say who they are, but a certain department of town who has their resources down there didn't even know anything about there being a trail down there. That's how little known I call it the Merrimack River Trail that's down there.
It's my dog's favorite place to run around.
So that's a good idea.
So there's that, and then I had another idea, which is what I emailed you two about.
Oh, did you?
If we wanted to have like an actual, like a bigger event with different activities or something. I have a yoga instructor friend who could maybe teach an outdoor yoga
yes.
class. I have a friend who does these cute little nature scavenger hunts with
Oh, my
littler,
goodness.
tiny kids.
Yes to all of the above.
Have like a handful of little family-friendly activities, just to get people out and, I don't know.
That would be up at VZ, or?
I was thinking VZ, because then, if we need to be indoors for yoga or something, we could.
I've been, all my.
And then
junk.
finish it off with a s'mores bonfire up at VZ. Like, how fun would that be?
I vote in favor of all of these activities, all of them.
That would be a different route than going the river
Yes.
route, though. I don't think we
Well-
could do both.
So what day is Earth Day? Is
The
it?
22nd,
It's a Tuesday.
Oh, that's a Tuesday, so we can't really do it on a Tuesday.
so it would have to be the
No, I
19th.
think we could, or, yeah,
Oh, that's school
do
vacation
like a late afternoon,
week.
exactly. So
Or-
kids are gonna
or
be
is it? Is
around.
it school vacation week?
It is,
Okay,
yeah.
The 22nd is school
Yeah.
vacation
Yep.
week?
yeah.
Oh,
We really
so
could do that.
You could. A lot of people go places, but that's fine. We can
Well,
still
we
have
could
Earth
do
Day.
the VZ thing on the 22nd, because it's hard to do the VZ thing on weekends, because sometimes it's, there's something
Weddings and
going
all that
on.
jazz.
But not on a Tuesday, there wouldn't be anything going on. So that's a possibility, and we could if we wanted to do both, we could do the Merrimack River thing on the Saturday before, like on the 19th.
Yeah,
I have a contact at Mass Audubon that might be willing to lead like a
a
bird.
birding thing.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
Should we try that?
Yeah,
Okay.
on VZ, at VZ.
At VZ, yeah.
It would be cool to just have like a few hours of activities, and people can come for this or that or whatever.
Like
And then a
maybe
bonfire.
Or something?
Yeah,
Where do you have a bonfire?
well, there's a fire pit there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah,
down
there
by
any-
the water and
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought we were removing it.
no,
you just have to have a permit to use it, right?
Yeah.
Pretty
Or
sure
we don't.
people want to remove that.
no, we
It's
didn't.
not the most easily accessible for certain people, because I've had a lot of events down there over the years, and some people, they're a little less adapted to getting up and down there.
Yeah,
That's the only problem. And unfortunately, the easy road coming from the entranceway, that trail is usually probably the most difficult to access or get through when you're, because of the downfalls. I haven't been out there in a bit, so, then again, I haven't been able to walk for the last 6 weeks with a broken foot, so.
Oh, Fred.
it'd be nice to offer it though, and then just warn people about the conditions.
So, do you two want to work together on that?
Yes.
Yeah,
I knew
do
that
it.
you.
I haven't reached out to any of those friends and colleagues yet,
You
though,
must
but I
have,
will.
I'm guessing you sent me the email to my town email.
Well,
Yes, I
you know what, Stephanie, I'll mention it to Vanessa, but definitely talk to Vanessa.
Oh, yes, I will loop her in.
About
She's visa-
that.
I was just about to text her right now, actually, so,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, if you could handle the VZ side of things, that would
absolutely.
be great.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to pull it together. I mean, the biggest thing is advertising this thing, so we got to get like a
I know one
poster.
place.
That I can do that part.
Okay,
I
we
can-
should probably get some posters, post around town hall.
Yeah.
Get it on the
Put it on the Facebook
calendars.
pages.
And then, so
Groveland
do you want to
Community
do
News.
the 19th for the Merrimack River thing too?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty easy, because you can bill it kind of as a cleanup.
Yeah.
And all we really need is some plastic bags and gloves to give people, say like, meet there at 10 o'clock and,
Okay. That one almost feels harder to get the Merrimack River person there.
oh.
I mean, I could speak
But
about
if
the
we
river, but,
don't-
yeah,
If we don't,
we could still just do a
don't.
cleanup.
Yeah,
But
still.
the cleanup, we'll
Mm-hmm.
do that as our cleanup.
Yep. Great.
So that's on the 19th, clean up that trail.
That include the loop that we made 7, 8 years ago?
Yes, it's still out there.
Yeah, the dog walkers were using it until they redid the new dog park. Before that, they would turn around and go from the dog park and they'd go down and do the loop that we built.
Oh, yeah.
Matt
over
does that
there.
loop like every day.
All right, so let us know about the VZ
Okay.
thing, the timing and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we just gotta be able to promote it, that's all. That's the trickiest thing, is promoting this stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get it on the Groveland yes.
What's up,
the
Groveland?
Groveland Community News show.
I'm on a lot of different, like, parents of Groveland Facebook
Okay.
groups.
Yep,
So
yeah,
we would definitely have the parents covered.
yeah. Well, so both of those things, because the cleanup thing, like I said, I took my grandkids down there and they picked up everything.
Yeah.
They like fishing the gunk out of the river bank and stuff. All right.
Cool.
So we'll take a motion for adjournment here
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
at 9:02
What's your
PM.
cell phone
I
number?
was just gonna say the same.
All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.
978-51.
Off my mic. Jason, are we?
It's muted currently. I'm taking it off right now.